magic here. So what I got going on here? I've got a Moog Sub 37. I've got a MIDI controller, M-Audio MIDI controller, Ableton Push, running Ableton Live on a 2013 MacBook, running a Focusrite Scarlett for microphone and saxophone input, running that into a Roland MX1 mix performer. I've got a talk box hooked up to the Moog, and for finishing master effects, I have this Korg KP Quad. So, the way that I'm performing, I've got all these buttons over here with the stems mapped out to all my songs. All right, so the routing is going Ableton into the mixer and then through the Chaos Pad. These other instruments are also routed into Ableton for effects. Everything goes into the mixer. So the Moog goes into the talk box, into the mixer. The keyboard over here is just purely controlling Ableton instruments. And the microphones go into Ableton, into the mixer. So everything goes into the mixer. And then on the mixer, I can select everything. So for instance, if I want just the kick drum, that's going to be over here on this button. So over here, this red column is all my kick drums, all right? Now, the kick drum is then going to be coming out of this channel right here, the digital channel. So I can turn it on, I can turn it off. I've got a filter, and I've got individual channel effects. So if I want to do a slicer, which I wouldn't do that on the drum or on the kick, it's not really doing anything. Let's turn that on. All right. So here's a whole. So like I said, we got kick drum in red over here. Then I got the tops. Then I have bass in green. I've got the keyboards in orange and vocals and sax over here. There's also effects. So like this one's effects. So some of the songs have tracks all the way across. So it's vocal stems, saxophone stems, effects stems. Then I've got keyboards, leads, keyboards, pads, bass, drum tops, and kick drum. All right, so each channel is going into its own channel on the mixer, and I can do individualized effects on the mixer. So I'll show you, here's just the drums. All right, I can mute the top, or I have the drums selected on a scatter effect. Let's do that. All right, nice. Or we'll use a slicer on the drums. So here's the drums with a slicer on. Kind of cool. All right. So now let's bring in the bass. All right. Now I want just effects on the bass. So easy. I'm gonna turn up my vocal. So I've deselected the bass, or I mean the drums, and I have just the bass affected for these master effects. All right, and so I can do that with anything. Each channel has its own filter. All right, and then there's a master effects knob that I can use if I want to filter everything. See, I don't have my voice filtered right now, but if I turn this button right here, my voice filter. So, pretty cool stuff. Like I said, the vocal microphones are going into the Focusrite, into the Ableton, out through this. And then I have effects for the vocals programmed on these knobs. Hey. So I've got more tempo sequence effects on the knobs on this MIDI controller right here. Pretty cool. I've got also more effects inside of Ableton if I choose to use them. For instance, I have like fade to gray. I don't know, fade to gray is just like, your typical. So that's like a bandpass filter and a reverb delay throw all together in one knob. That's essentially what that is. Whereas I could just use like the filter or like Big Crush on the mixer. But it's nice to have that little option right there for certain things. Now this ability gives me the ability to really jam. So if I trigger my keys and my bass at once, here it goes. And there's my drums too. All right, so I'm gonna go to the next song. Take out the drums, throw in some effects. Yep, our new drums. There we go, I'm in a new song. Nice and smooth transitions. Ain't nothing fear, just illusion. So, I've got that all going on. The saxophone is hooked up the same way the microphone is, also effects. Hey, yeah, so super cool right there. Then I also have the talk box. This is the last thing. So other than the finishing effects, okay? So the talk box is just a normal talk box. This is, I think, an MXR talk box. Oh, yeah. So, So there's the talk box. All right, so all of that's running into this mixer, and each channel has its own channel on the mixer with tempo sequenced effects. I can do slicers, scatters, all that good stuff, filters. That all is then the master of the mixer is going into the Korg KP Quad. All right, so I'll play a little bit of that. I have it set on just like very drastic effects. And the KP Quad, you select an effect for each quadrant. It's an XY effects pad. So right now, I've got quadrant 1 on reverse looper, quadrant 2 flanger, 3 jet, 4 tape echo. So it'll go towards, so this is quadrant 3 right here. So this is all jet. And then in the middle is like all of them. And then here's some tape echo and stuff. Oh, I don't have the effect depth up very high. Hey, now you can really hear it. Hey, so this is a really excellent effects. So wherever I put my finger on it, I can get really weird with it. Cool. And that's pretty much the whole thing. And then lastly, actually, I almost forgot, there's a looper programmed inside of Ableton over here on this MIDI controller. So if, for instance, I'm playing the song, loop, loop, looper, looper, yeah, loop, loop, looper, looper, yeah, loop, loop, looper, looper, yeah, loop, loop, looper, looper, yeah. Now, loop, loop, looper, yeah. But that's pretty much the whole thing. So I can loop my saxophone, I can loop my vocals with those buttons right there. So completely customizable. And then the Moog is also sequenced. So I can do cool Moog sequences. All I am cryptoWAVEradio, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Shake it. I'll see y'all August 13th at the 8x10 with Schwa and Stu Fiki. This has been cryptoWAVEradio Rig Rundown. Hope you guys enjoyed.